Hello grade 11s, we're going to be continuing with analytical geometry and I'm working in the section equations of a straight line. I'm going to be working with slides 28 to 38. So it says here with example 1, a line passes through the points A, -1, 3 and B, 5, 0. Question A says, determine the equation of the line AB. Because we know that it's a straight line, we know it's going to have the form y is equal to mx plus c. So we have two unknowns here that we need to solve for. We have the m and we have the c. So the first one I'm going to solve for is the m. And we know the formula to work out the gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So because this is our first point over here, this can be our x1, y1. Our second point, x2, y2. All I do is I substitute those values into this formula. So our y2 value is 0 minus our y1 value is 3 over our x2 value is 5 minus, and our x1 value is -1. So this gives us 0 minus 3 is -3 over 5 minus gives us a plus, 1 gives us 6. So we know that this gradient is -1/2. I can now substitute that into our formula. Now we just have one thing to find, which is our c value. Now it doesn't really matter. You can substitute in either this point or this point to find your c value. I'm just going to go for the easier one, and that's this one here. So all I'm doing is I'm substituting in the 0.50. So that means our y is 0. And our x is 5. If we simplify this, we get 0 is equal to -5 over 2 plus c. So c must be equal to 5 over 2. Therefore, the equation for this line is y is equal to -1/2x plus 5 over 2. That was question A. Now, question B says, determine the equation of the line parallel to this line, and it passes through the point C, 2 minus 3. If I just do it on the side here, so we've just got all the information. So this is now question B. So we know that this second line is parallel to our AB line, which is this one here, and it goes through this point C, which is 2 minus 3. Now, if lines are parallel, we know that the gradients are going to be equal. We know that M1 will be equal to M2 because lines are parallel. Now, the gradient for this AB line is this -1/2. So we know that the gradient for this new line is going to be -1/2. So y is equal to mx plus c. So y is equal to -1/2 x plus c, because our gradients are equal. To find the c value, we just substitute this point in. So I'm going to substitute the point in 2 minus 3. So our y value is -3 equals -1/2. Our x value is 2 plus c. So we get -3 minus 1 plus c. So c is equal to -2. Therefore, the equation of this new line is y is equal to -1/2 x minus 2. Question C says, determine the equation of the line perpendicular to AB and passing through the origin. So if we look at the equation for the AB line, it's y is equal to -1/2 x excuse me, I just need to see, plus 5 over 2. Now, if lines are perpendicular, and it goes through the origin. So if lines are perpendicular, we know that m1 times m2 will be equal to minus 1. Now we know what the equation of the line that is perpendicular to is, this one here, and our gradient is minus a half. And if we solve for this new gradient, we're going to get that m2 is equal to 2, just by dividing through by that. So now we know what the gradient for our new line is. It's y is equal to 2x plus c. In order to find the c value, I substitute in the point that it goes through, which is 0, 0. So our y value is 0 equals 2, our x is 0 plus c. So that means that c is equal to 0. Therefore, the equation of this line that is perpendicular to AB is y is equal to 2x plus 0. If we look at example 2, example 2 is telling us find the equation of the lines which pass through A minus 2, 1 and B 2, 5. So, write down your general equation. Y is equal to mx plus c. We have two unknowns, the m and the c. To find the m, we use m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Because this is my first point, I'm going to make this x1, our second point, y1. Our second point here, we get x2, y value, y2. I'm going to take those values and plug them into this formula here. So we get 5 minus 1 over x2 is 2 minus x1 minus 2. 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 minus minus 2 is 4. So we get a gradient of 1. So y is equal to 1x plus c. To find the c value, you can plug in either point. Doesn't really make a difference. I'm going to plug in this point over here. So our y value is 1. Our x value is minus 2. So if we solve for the c, we get c is equal to 3. Therefore, the equation of this line is y is equal to 1x plus 3. Now, you don't have to put the 1 there. You can just say y is equal to x plus 3, and that will be fine. If we look at example B, they are asking us to find the equation of the line that goes through this point C, minus 1, 3, and D, 5 minus 4. So, y is equal to mx plus c. So the formula to work out the gradient, m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Our first point, so this is x1, y1, second point, x2, y2. Just substitute our values in and we get minus 4 minus 3 over 5 minus 1. Minus 4 minus 3 is minus 7 over 5 minus 1 is going to give us 4. So now we know we get y is equal to minus 7 over 4x plus c. I beg your pardon, this is going to be 6. Apologies for that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in either this point or this point. Let's go for the second one this time. So our y value is -4. And our x value is 5 plus c. So we get here -4 is equal to -35/6 plus c. Take this to this side and you work out what c is. You will get 11/6. Therefore, the equation of this line is y is equal to -7/6 x plus 11/6. Question C goes on to say, hence, determine the coordinates of the point of intersection of these two lines. So we've got this equation of this one, which is y is equal to -7/6 plus 11/6. And our second line that they're talking about is this one over here. Y is equal to x plus 3. So to find out the point of intersection of these two lines, you just set them equal to each other. So we get here -7/6x plus 11/6 equals x plus 3. I'm just going to multiply 3 by 6 to get rid of these denominators. So we get -7x plus 11 is equal to 6x plus 18. X to the one side, numbers to the other. We get -13x is equal to, so we get x is equal to 7 over -13. So now we've got the x value. Now we need to find the corresponding y value. Now it doesn't make a difference if you take this one and plug it into this formula or this formula. I highly suggest that you choose the easier of the two. Now you can see this one will be a little bit nasty because we have these fractions. So I'm going to sub it into this one here. And we can just work that out on the calculator. And we get 32/13. Therefore, the point of intersection between this graph and this graph is 7 over -13, 32/13. Okay, grade 11s, I would like you to try exercise 4.4 for me, please. Thank you.